We want to welcome you to our presentation and would like to introduce you to the APS planning team, which consists of Business Owner Wealth Strategies, LLC, in association with our legal and design group. We hope you find this exclusive and proprietary program as huge an opportunity as we have over the past several years, thanks to legislation that was passed back in 1997. As you will discover, very few CPAs or tax attorneys are aware of what you are about to see, and our history shows that these advisors typically become serious advocates of the program once they see and understand it and after they have performed their due diligence. Before we begin the slideshow, we'd like to present you with a brief summary of what this all can mean to you and to your families. You know, in our careers it's very seldom, if at all, that an opportunity comes along where a producer doesn't have to change what he or she is currently doing to make a living, can devote only the time it takes to get some basic information from a prospect, and earn 6 figures per case. And yet that's the track record that many financial professionals have experienced once they become comfortable that this program is for real, and most important, once they realize just how beneficial it is for their prospective clients. Another key point is that you will have virtually no competition in marketing the program, which will be explained later on. Also, you should know that the APS program has never been and never will be mass marketed to multiple marketing organizations or agencies. Because this type of planning requires such a rare and unique skill set, we are taking the opportunity to only hand-selected and well-chosen producers, mainly through referrals and word of mouth. So let's get started. Please list any questions you have and we will address all of them at the end of the presentation. What you are about to see is called the APS program, which is an acronym for Advanced Planning Strategies, and it truly does provide you with an unprecedented way to leverage your relationships you may have currently with business. To fully grasp the significance of the APS program, we should start at the beginning of what made it possible in the first place. There was groundbreaking legislation enacted on August 7, 1997 called the Taxpayer Relief Act, or TRA 97. It was signed into law by President Clinton and became effective on January 1, 1998. This law was and still is supported by both parties in Congress in nearly a unanimous vote because it takes some of the financial burden off of Social Security. Moreover, it provides benefits to employees at no cost to them, and it provides employers with unprecedented benefits to help their businesses become more successful. This legislation is probably most well known for 3 things. It raised the estate tax exemption, it lowered the taxes on capital gains, and it provided government-funded educational benefits. But here's the amazing thing to us. The law also contained a revolutionary and new section addressing the business community. For the first time in our country's history, TRA 97 allows for an S corporation to be owned by an entity other than an individual. Prior to this legislation, only an individual or individuals could own stock in an S corporation. And as a pass-through vehicle, all profits flowed through to an individual's tax return, whereupon individual income taxes were due and payable. Since the passage of TRA 97, it is now allowed for an S corporation to be owned by an Employee Stock Ownership Trust, or ESOT. Please note that we're not talking about a C corporation ESOP, such as those incorporated by such well-known companies as Avis Rent-A-Car, Home Depot, and Southwest Airlines. No, this is a different animal altogether, and as you are about to see, it can provide some advantages to business owners quite different from traditional ESOPs. Surprisingly, to this very day, very few, if any, CPAs or tax attorneys are aware of this part of the legislation or its extremely advantageous ramifications to business owners. Now, it's not as simple as it might sound. Since it was passed in 1997, there have been multiple legislative changes and several IRS rulings that have affected the workings of utilizing this new business structure. Just a few of them are listed on this slide, but as you might imagine, making sure there is full compliance with the law and all of its revisions requires a highly specialized expertise in ERISA, labor law, tax code, and business and corporate law. Now that you have a basic idea of the complexities of the APS program, we would like to shift gears to share how to market the program to your prospective business owner clients. Among other marketing and prospecting tools, we have available to you a 5.5-minute, 6-slide narrated PowerPoint presentation. This presentation, as you will see, does not get into the specifics of any particular structure or strategy, but rather summarizes the considerable benefits that are now available to your business owner prospects through the APS program. So please sit back and watch for the next few minutes as if you are the prospective business owner client. This presentation is very brief and is intended only to bring to your attention something that you and your advisors most probably do not know about. There is absolutely no cost or obligation to discover whether or not the content of this presentation makes sense for you. So, as a successful business owner, we'd like just a few minutes of your time to introduce you to the APS program, which is an acronym for Advanced Planning Strategies, and very possibly your path to greater financial success. If nothing else, you should at least be aware of a series of legislative acts and revenue rulings that have given rise to highly specialized and custom designed planning techniques for business owners who qualify. These strategies are designed to take full advantage of the law and to provide employers with benefits they typically are not aware even exist. An elite team with unique expertise in advanced planning techniques for highly successful business owners is fully committed to maximize the company's operating efficiencies and profitability well beyond where it is currently. No matter how advanced or sophisticated planning for your business may be currently, the APS program planning team can greatly increase your business and personal net worth. This approach doesn't replace or suggest any ineffectiveness on the part of your current advisors whatsoever. In fact, by working closely with your advisors and key executives, innovative strategies and unprecedented business structures can be created for you and installed in a timely manner. If your business qualifies under the new legislation, the benefits you can enjoy include tax mitigation, asset protection, retirement enhancement, and succession planning to a degree well beyond typical advanced planning results. The legislative acts involving the APS program have already been mentioned, but you may like to know more specifics. They include ERISA, the Tax Reform Act of '97, EGTRA, and the Pension Protection Act of 2006. As a business owner, you can now employ many of the same special vehicles and strategies that Fortune 500 companies enjoy. Custom designed and unique financial programs can provide remarkable benefits to business owners. You may be able to operate your business on a pre-tax basis. This is significant because pre-tax means untaxed. In other words, if your business can operate on an untaxed basis, you can imagine what an advantage this will give you over your competitors who continue to operate on the usual after-tax basis. You should also be aware that all categories of current structures can qualify for these advanced planning strategies, whether your business is a C Corp, S Corp, partnership, LLC, LLP, professional corporation, or even a sole proprietorship. And all types of businesses can qualify. These strategies have been implemented by medical and legal practices, CPA firms, manufacturers, construction companies, car dealerships, and many more. In order to get a clearer picture of the benefits of the APS program, let's review some of the more frequent questions that have come up over the years. One of the most common is, why aren't my own planning techniques through my current advisors sufficient to maximize my business efficiencies? Well, while your planning may be state-of-the-art, unless your advisors are true experts in ERISA, labor law, the tax code, and corporate and business law, you may now have an opportunity to enhance your benefits to a much greater degree. The good news is that your trusted advisors will become an integral part of the APS program planning team. Another common question is, what is my risk, cost, and time requirement to learn more about the APS program? After obtaining some basic information on your business, an APS program specialist has agreed to meet with or conduct a conference call with qualifying business owners. Again, at no cost or obligation, and your entire risk is solely time. The conference call or meeting lasts only about 45 minutes, and from this small amount of time you will be able to determine if you are interested and if your business qualifies. Another question that is asked quite a bit is, what is the cost of installing a new or additional strategy and/or business structure? While there are fees associated with the design and implementation of the APS program, they will vary depending upon the facts, circumstances, and complexity of each individual situation. However, because the APS program can create such substantial tax savings, your net cost is always zero. Another way to look at it is the amount of taxes you are currently paying can instead pay for installing the program with a whole lot more of those tax savings now available for using in your business or even setting aside for your retirement, or both. If it sounds like something you at the very least would like to know more about, you may be asking yourself, what are my next steps? Well, the first step is to contact the APS program representative who gave you this presentation, and then provide some basic business information on a brief one-page feasibility questionnaire. The next step then is to schedule a preliminary conference call or meeting, and if you wish to proceed, invite your advisors to the next meeting. In order to take the next step or for more information, please contact the APS program representative who gave you this presentation and discover for yourself if the APS program is indeed your path to greater financial success. Again, this presentation is available to you as a prospecting tool with your own personalized contact information included, plus a photo of yourself if you so choose. Also available is a front and back 2-page color flyer with the same information in it as shown in the narrated presentation, again with your personalized information and photo. Some producers prefer to utilize their own marketing and prospecting methods, and some prefer to use what we have available at no cost if you'd like to utilize them. So let's take a quick moment and recap the APS program benefits for clients. They may be able to operate their businesses on a pre-tax or untaxed basis. That's a very significant benefit all by itself. But in addition, as you'll see in subsequent slides, they can enjoy a greater degree of asset protection, which is very important to a lot of business owners. They can put substantial amounts of money away for their retirement on a pre-tax basis. Plus, they can enjoy tax-deferred growth on their retirement account, and with proper planning can access their retirement income without income taxes due. These are pretty powerful benefits, wouldn't you say? And certainly should warrant your prospect's desire to find out more about the program. Now let's take a look at the benefits of the APS program for you, the producer. History tells us that you can make 6 figures plus per case without stopping what you're currently doing to earn a living. Your involvement in the process requires little more than gathering some basic information and arranging for about a 40-minute conference call, all at no cost to your prospective client. Other benefits are that your client's appreciation level is significant because you brought this program to him or her. As a result, you will probably find that you will receive lucrative referrals from your highly satisfied clients. You will also find that ancillary sales can result from the process, such as estate planning, buy-sell funding, and many more. It's all good. Very, very good. As mentioned in the prospective client narrated PowerPoint, the APS program provides business owners with numerous benefits. To summarize them, we use the acronym TARS, which again stands for Tax Mitigation, Asset Protection, Retirement Enhancement, and Succession Planning. These 4 primary benefits to business owners represent the foundation in approaching your prospective clients with the APS program. Besides providing significant tax savings, let's look at the other components in the TARS acronym in a little more detail. The APS program also offers business owners with a greater degree of asset protection. Because, as you may recall from the Acme Inc. example diagram, the newly formed S Corporation is owned by a federally qualified plan trust, the ESOT. Its assets are extremely difficult, if not impossible, for creditors or litigants to penetrate. A good example of this protection is illustrated in the well-publicized case of the Goldmans versus O.J. Simpson. As you may recall, the Goldmans prevailed in civil court where they were awarded a $30 million plus judgment against O.J.'s assets. Under the law, they were able to take everything he owned, including his Heisman Trophy. The one thing they couldn't take away were any assets from O.J.'s NFL pension plan, because it is a federally qualified plan, just like the ESOT in the APS program design. So by definition, a business owner's assets are protected to a much greater degree than just the typical corporate veil. Another benefit of the program is retirement enhancement. Regardless of what retirement planning may be in place currently, a business owner's retirement is more secure because a significant part of the program is to use a portion of the tax savings generated to put into retirement planning vehicles on behalf of the owner and/or key executives. This is where substantial amounts of life insurance are utilized as the best financial tools available, as explained and promoted by the attorneys. Also, succession planning is featured as an additional benefit to business owners. Most business owners, in our experience, do not have a viable exit strategy in place. They aren't sure when the time comes how they plan to retire. They may think they will leave the business to their children or employees or sell it on the open market, but typically no workable plan has been adopted for this eventuality. The APS program design, by definition, provides the client with a viable, efficient, and more profitable method of succession. We mentioned earlier that very few, if any, CPAs and tax attorneys have heard of utilizing S Corporation ESOTs as a planning tool for optimizing business efficiencies. In fact, to this very day, we haven't spoken with or met a CPA or tax attorney who is aware of the positive ramifications to corporate America that TRA 97 allows and actually encourages. However, once they are brought up to speed with the APS program, and have performed their own due diligence on these proprietary planning structures, they typically become very excited and oftentimes become advocates of the program. Also mentioned in the presentation is the fact that a team approach is used to ensure your client's full confidence. Their advisors, which may consist of directors and officers, CPAs and accountants, CFOs, controllers, tax and legal counsel, and spouses, are always included in the planning process. It is critical to the strategic design and implementation that these people become important members of the APS planning team. We make sure that this happens in every case. We mentioned earlier that we have virtually no competition, which means that you won't either when you decide to market the APS program. Why would we say this? Simply because in order to stay compliant under the dozens and dozens of legislative changes and IRS rulings, the appropriate strategies require considerable know-how in many areas of the law and regulatory rulings and restrictions. Ensuring that the most effective structure is being utilized, implemented, and monitored takes extraordinary expertise and a unique skill set. We are not aware of any other group or individual that offers the strategies and plan design that is provided by the APS program planning team. Some of the nation's largest CPA firms do market ESOPs, but these are typically C Corporation ESOPs, and their target market tends to be the giant Fortune 1000 companies. Virtually no one that we are aware of is marketing S Corporation ESOPs to small and medium businesses. This is why the opportunity for all of us is so great. Now we would like to present the credentials of our legal and tax experts. Our lead attorney is the original creator of custom designing appropriate and compliant TRA 97 business structures and is an ERISA expert, tax code and labor law specialist, and has considerable experience and expertise in corporate law and business planning. His experience takes him back to the Carter and Reagan administrations as a congressional staff member in Washington, D.C. when ERISA was first enacted in 1974, and today is considered by many as one of the country's leading labor law experts. Also on the legal and design team is a CPA and a tax attorney with specialization in tax and business planning. He is a published financial author and is a renowned business strategist. To date, of nearly 200 cases, there have been a few audits. You should be aware that as a testament to their commitment to diligent compliance under the law and legislative and regulatory oversight, all of the audits were given no change status, meaning of course that the regulators signed off on the plans. Also, please note that the structures did not raise red flags that caused the audits. The businesses in question were audited for other reasons, but the regulatory bodies did review the S Corporation ESOT structures in depth. Both attorneys have available to you and your clients their bios upon request. In those bios you will see in more detail just why they possess such a unique and effective set of skills that are critical to the kind of planning required to maximize business efficiencies for your business owner clients. So just exactly who is a candidate for the APS program? Well, this is pretty easy and includes a large percentage of the business population, making our jobs easier in order to find viable candidates. To qualify under TRA 97 and all of its revisions over the years, we are looking for successful businesses that are privately owned with 11 or more employees who are non-related. In other words, if a business has 11 employees, but includes a brother and a spouse who are also working there as employees, the IRS considers them as one employee and therefore the total would be only 10. And so that business wouldn't qualify for an S-ESOT structure. Also, we're looking for businesses that have $250,000 or more in net profits left over at the end of their fiscal year. We define net profit as money left over after payroll and expenses have been paid, but before taxes are paid or before they have undertaken any current tax planning, such as giving themselves and key employees year-end bonuses or buying equipment or prepaying rents into the following year. Other situations we look for are businesses that have been in operation for at least 2 to 3 years and have a reasonable expectation that they will continue to be profitable for the next 5 years. These are not hard and fast requirements, but simply guidelines, as there are exceptions. As was mentioned in the narrated PowerPoint, any type of privately owned business can qualify, whether it is a C corporation, S corporation, partnership, LLC, LLP, professional corporation, or any other. And any type of business can qualify. These structures have been implemented for law and accounting firms, medical and dental practices, manufacturers, construction companies, car dealerships, and many more. So if you would like to market the APS program, which again requires very little time and effort on your part, we should discuss how to go about finding viable prospects. As with any potential sales situation, it is recommended for many years of experience that you approach your warm market first, oftentimes referred to as low-hanging fruit. Because the benefits of the program are so considerable and so incredible, unless there already is an existing relationship in place, business owners tend to be somewhat skeptical. In addition, having the opportunity to present the APS program to a cold prospect is typically not realized, as getting through gatekeepers is usually quite difficult. We are not saying that cold market prospecting won't or can't work, it just hasn't been successful to date. However, by bringing the program to qualifying business owners with whom you have a good existing relationship, your chances of effecting a sale is very good. In order to identify viable prospects for the APS program, it makes sense to think about business owners you know. In addition, however, you will want to consider family members, friends, neighbors, and new acquaintances who may own businesses or have a warm relationship with someone who does. Businesses you may want to approach include your dry cleaners, car dealership, gym, lawyer, or any other business that you can think of. Another approach is to get referred to business owners through your centers of influence. These are people who you know who have business owner relationships who may be willing to introduce you to them. Centers of influence may include group health agents, commercial property and casualty agents, 401k reps, CPAs, or anyone you know who has contact with businesses, such as office supply reps, advertising reps, and so forth. Now, if your centers of influence are not life insurance licensed, you can pay them a referral or finder's fee. So, what should you say to a prospect to get them interested in the APS program? Well, many years of experience has taught us that attempting to explain the details of how the program might work is not a good idea. Numerous potential sales have been lost because producers try and explain a complex and involved structure which may not even fit that particular business. This practice also resulted in having to field questions that were outside their areas of expertise. This is why it has proven to be far more successful to leave the details to the APS specialist and instead attempt to solely pique the interest of a prospect to take the next step to find out more about the program. What a producer is really selling here is his or her ability to obtain a one-page feasibility questionnaire and arrange for a 40 to 45 minute subsequent conference call. If you can accomplish this, your prospects for a rather large payday are promising, to say the least. As advocates of the simplistic approach, we like to pass along what one producer said that resulted in a large sale. We are paraphrasing here, but essentially here is what the producer said. I attended a seminar the other day and hardly understood a word the guy said, but I did learn that thanks to a tax law change, business owners can now enjoy some truly remarkable tax savings and other benefits. Is it worth a few minutes of your time to have me fill out a simple one-page questionnaire to see if you qualify for the program? There is no cost to see if you might benefit. That business owner said yes, and a sizable check was received by the producer a few weeks later. The point is, all you are really doing in marketing the APS program is asking your prospects if it's worth a risk of about 1 hour total of their time to find out if they qualify and perhaps significantly change their lives for the better. If they agree it's worth the risk of 1 hour of their time, then you simply get the one-page feasibility questionnaire filled out and arrange for the subsequent conference call with the attorneys. Again, there is no cost or obligation for the analysis to discover if their business is a candidate. So even though the planning strategies and structures are very involved and complex, the process for the producer is really quite simple. Also, for your information, in the marketing materials you will receive, you will see several approach scripts that have worked in the past. All are quite different, but at least one of them is probably one that fits your style and personality. Since we've made the point that obtaining the feasibility questionnaire, or FQ, is the key to the entire process, let's discuss why. It's from this form that we get a snapshot of the business, and the information provided tells us if it is a viable candidate for operating more efficiently. Moreover, our attorney on the subsequent conference call has the necessary data to engage in a meaningful and productive discussion with the prospective client. Without this information would be like a doctor trying to diagnose a patient's pain in the leg without any diagnostic information, like from an X-ray or MRI. I wouldn't want to be that patient or the doctor. Incidentally, the FQ used to be 3.5 pages and asked for much more in-depth information. Now, on one page, it is much easier to get a prospect to agree to provide the data requested. Because it's been reduced to only 1 page, all of the requested information is vital and needs to be filled out in its entirety. Also, while not always possible, it is best if the producer fills out the FQ while the prospect provides the data. You wouldn't leave an insurance application with a prospect to fill out and then send to you, and the same is true for the FQ. Once completed, the FQ is scanned and emailed or faxed to the APS planning team as shown in the upper segment of the questionnaire. The producer may get a call to provide any missing information or for clarification of the information provided. Once vetted, the attorneys will receive the FQ and the producer will be contacted to set up the subsequent conference call with the prospective client. A question that may come up sometimes early in the initial conversation with a prospective client is, what does it cost for the program? The attorneys do charge legal fees for the proprietary plan design, implementation, review, and monitoring of the new operating structure. In addition, the attorneys provide the first line of defense in the unlikely event of an audit, which is included in the fees and which helps give business owners peace of mind. However, the net cost to your prospective client is always zero. Why? Because the attorneys never charge a client more than a third of the tax savings generated from the plan design in the first year. Then in subsequent years, there are compliance reviews, required evaluations, plan monitoring, and the audit protection for which the attorneys charge fees not to exceed 1/6 of the first year's tax savings. And even if the company triples its business in later years, the fee is predicated on the first year's tax savings only. In our opinion, this method of establishing fees is a positive for clients because they know exactly what the fees are from the beginning. And because there are no open-ended hourly legal fees, clients won't experience potentially ongoing and exorbitant costs associated with the program. If you think about the existing fee arrangement, if a business, thanks to the APS planning team's design, no longer is required to pay their income taxes of, let's say, $100,000 in the first year, and the fees generated are 1/3 or $33,000, would you as the business owner be pleased? In other words, how many times a day would you pay $33,000 to someone who gave you back $100,000? And then in this example, year 2 and after, $16,500 would be paid in fees to receive the $100,000 in tax savings. Again, if the business triples to create $300,000 in tax savings in later years, the fee is still only $16,500. It sometimes is easier for some prospective clients to grasp the concept if they are reminded that they are not paying the fees for the program. In effect, Uncle Sam and the state taxing authorities are paying the fees. And tax savings are real dollars. If you don't have to pay the taxes you are used to paying, but instead get to keep that money in your business, you have realized real tangible dollars as a result. It would be like not having to pay your home mortgage anymore, which means you have those allocated dollars to use as you see fit. In addition, which is no small addition and sometimes gets lost in the discussion, the legal fees are tax deductible to the business. Besides providing clients with remarkable benefits, the APS program also benefits the producers who initiate the case because life insurance is a part of the planning process. Choosing the appropriate carriers and products is performed by the APS program planning team in tandem with the producer. The policy illustrations are designed by the APS program planning team along with the producer also. We utilize primarily indexed universal life policies because they fit the planning criteria best, providing the clients with upside potential growth with a guarantee of principal. We do not use variable policies, mainly due to the resistance of broker-dealers to engage in cross-selling agreements. Applications, related paperwork, and arranging medical examinations are performed by the producer, again in tandem with the APS program planning team. Now here's one of the best parts. The attorneys are the ones who promote the utilization of life insurance as a critical step in the overall planning, not the producer. Whether the policies are used for retirement enhancement, buy-sell funding, key man, repurchase obligation for the eligible employees who separate from service, or other obligations, life insurance is a very important and integral part of the process. So far, we have discussed the S Corporation ESOP model, requiring 11 or more non-related employees. So what happens when you have an existing relationship with a business owner who has a successful business, but has less than 11 employees? The short answer is to always obtain the feasibility questionnaire regardless of the situation if your prospective client owns a profitable business and is paying more taxes than he or she likes. Many innovative and custom designed strategies and the implementation of state-of-the-art planning techniques have helped numerous business owners realize considerable tax mitigation and operating efficiencies even if the business doesn't qualify for the S Corporation ESOT structure. Again, the key is to always get the FQ, and the chances are quite good of installing a viable program that will help your client's situation and also provide you with considerable compensation. As you've seen, the APS program provides clients with unprecedented benefits and at the same time offers producers the opportunity to be extremely well compensated. This program involves an application split on life insurance products. As you are probably aware, where there exists a relationship that utilizes the services of a proprietary and unique specialization, cases are typically split on a 50-50 basis. In most arrangements like this, the experts usually state that their services are crucial to the process and so of course is providing the client. As a result, as you may have already experienced, these situations between the specialist and the producer are on a 50-50 basis. However, with the APS program, we have two options. Option one is where the APS planning team works on a 70-30 application split basis, with the 70% going to you, the producer, who brings the client to the table. We believe that this is an excellent arrangement when you consider that once you have made the initial introduction, submitted the feasibility questionnaire, and secured a commitment for the subsequent conference call, you do not have to do anything further if that's your preference. You do not have to be involved in the plan design, you do not have to make the close or even sell the insurance. You do not have to interface with CPAs, attorneys, trust departments, or any other advisors. And you do not have to be involved in setting up trusts, filing legal documents, or any other paperwork. And again, on average, you can easily earn 6 figures per case. This slide summarizes option 2, which is a fairly new option for us. We've had producers tell us, for whatever reasons, that they are not comfortable asking for the feasibility questionnaire or scheduling a conference call. They were willing, however, to introduce us to their prospective client and wanted us to get the completed FQ and arrange for the call. In these instances, all the producer is required to do is make the introduction and then not get involved again until applications are ready to be taken. Under this arrangement, the application split is 50-50. As you might imagine, the vast majority of producers prefer option 1, where they earn the 70% split on the case. If you like what you've seen and wish to market the APS program, there are 4 simple steps required. First, our attorneys require that each producer sign a confidentiality agreement due to the proprietary nature of the program. On the back of this agreement is a box asking for the contact information you would like on your own marketing materials, including your photo if you so desire. Once we receive back the agreement, you will be sent your marketing materials plus a number of PDF files, all of which are important for learning about the program and how to effectively market it. Second, once you receive your materials, begin approaching your qualified prospective clients. Third, if you get interest, obtain the feasibility questionnaire. And step 4, upon approval that your prospect is a viable candidate, arrange for the preliminary conference call with your prospective client and the attorneys. And oh yes, there is a step 5 too, cashing your 6-figure check. We invite you to contact us anytime with any questions or ideas you may have in performing your own due diligence and marketing the APS program. Our contact information is shown on this slide, which we will leave up for a few moments. In summary, we hope you have recognized the same very rare and potentially life-changing opportunity that we did many years ago. You know, it's not often that a program comes along that is not just a win-win situation, but provides one